Guru Sri Juta Padakamalang.
Hare Krishna, welcome to our channel Bhagavad-gita. Here it is, because we are reading Bhagavad-gita as it is, translation and commentary by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, and my name is Labangalatika. We are in the 7th chapter, Knowledge of the Absolute, and we are reading text 24. I will start with the Sanskrit. Avyaktang vyaktimapanang manyante mama buddhayah parang bhavam majananto mama vyayam anuttamam. And I'm quite sure that this is also one of the core verses for those who like to learn Bhagavad-gita verses by heart. Unintelligent men who do not know me perfectly think that I, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, was impersonal before and have now assumed this personality. Due to their small knowledge, they do not know my higher nature, which is imperishable and supreme. Yes, we come back to that old dichotomy between the personal and the impersonal. And Krishna is never propagating the impersonal understanding of anything at all, actually. This world is all based on personality. We are always persons, and Krishna himself is always a person. That impersonal aspect is there. It can be realized. It is not separate from Krishna, but it is an incomplete realization of Krishna. It's a realization of one of his aspects. I will read the purport. Those who are worshippers of demigods have been described as less intelligent persons, and here the impersonalists are similarly described. Lord Krishna in his personal form is here speaking before Arjuna, and still, due to ignorance, impersonalists argue that the Supreme Lord ultimately has no form. Yamunacharya, a great devotee of the Lord in the disciplic succession of Ramanujacharya, has written a very appropriate verse in this connection. He says, Tvang shilarupa charite parama prakrishtai sattvena sattvikataya prabalaischa shastrei Prakhya deva paramartha vidang mataischa neva sura prakritaya prabhavanti bodhum. My dear Lord, devotees like Vyasadeva and Narada know you to be the personality of Godhead. By understanding different Vedic literatures, one can come to know your characteristics, your form, and your activities, and one can thus understand that you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But those who are in the modes of passion and ignorance, the demons, the non-devotees, cannot understand you. They are unable to understand you. However expert such non-devotees may be in discussing Vedanta and the Upanishad and other Vedic literatures, it is not possible for them to understand the personality of Godhead. Stotra Ratna 12. In the Brahma Samhita, it is stated that the personality of Godhead cannot be understood simply by study of the Vedanta literature. Only by the mercy of the Supreme Lord can the personality of the Supreme be known. Therefore, in this verse, it is clearly stated that not only are the worshippers of the demigods less intelligent, but those non-devotees who are engaged in Vedanta and speculation on Vedic literatures without any tinge of true Krishna consciousness are also less intelligent. And for them it is not possible to understand God's personal nature. So, it's sometimes a little difficult to understand this, because we think we have some intelligence, and if we study something we will understand it in a rational way. And it actually doesn't work like that. It doesn't start from our intelligence. Even in any situation or any context this is true. Like we look around us in this world and we find that on a political level, certain representatives in the democratic systems gain votes, and the rest of us are looking at them like, how is it even possible? That is so, it doesn't make any sense. But it is not that. And also you buy a car, people put money in all sorts of cars, and you think it should be rational, and it is not so rational. Maybe you will compare the prices, but there's an emotional level where you feel like, I am from Gothenburg, I could never drive a Saab. Of course, now I don't have to worry about that because we don't have any Saabs anymore. And that's not rational. It is just a conditioning based on, I don't even know what it's based on, some emotional thing. Politics also. People vote for the dumbest political platforms, not because they're more stupid than anyone else, but because we are not starting from the rational, intelligent platform. We are starting from the level of desires in our heart. And especially here, we speak about the demigods, we speak about the impersonal realization, or not even the realization, with that attitude that we see Krishna's beautiful form, playing his flute, smiling upon his devotees, and we're thinking, oh yeah, that's for less intelligent people. I want something beyond Krishna. And saying that the absolute is impersonal, and then Krishna has assumed a form because it's easier for us to turn to a form, but the perfect realization is beyond Krishna. I can't even say it. It's even painful just to say it. It's such a foolish thing, actually. But it's not based on really intelligence. It's based on desire. If you want to avoid all personality, you want to avoid all suffering, and at the same time you want to see yourself as supreme, yes, let's just merge into that impersonal, spiritual, blissful existence. But we don't have to worry about personalities, but we don't have to surrender to the supreme. It is based on that desire. And then, of course, it's not easy. It's not that everyone can do it, but everyone can go and hold that concept in their head and feel feel very advanced and superior. And similarly with the demigods, because we don't have that I'm from Sweden, we don't have demigod worshippers as such, but we have the same attitude. Inside religion and outside religion, we have that attitude that I will somehow or another be very good and get very good results for me. And maybe for my family or maybe for my country as well, but basically, that enjoying propensity or that avoiding suffering propensity. And you can't just mix them together and think, okay, we will worship some form, but ultimately it's impersonal, and now we have understood everything. No, now we have mixed two imperfect concepts and created some other imperfect concept that's not going to help us realize the absolute truth. Because there we have to be honest and we have to be humble. We don't have to. We can do whatever we want. But if we want to realize the supreme absolute truth, we have to be honest enough to know that my desires keep me in this world. My material desires, my misidentification with this body keep me in this world. The supreme is certainly beyond my intellectual speculations, but he's able to reveal himself. So if I turn to him, he can certainly help me get that realization, and not just by, Krishna doesn't snap his fingers and the guru doesn't touch your forehead and bam, there's electricity. No. This is in our heart originally. We are now covered. So we are accepting instruction from Krishna and his representative. We are accepting a process that will help us both to purify our lives in such a way that we don't get further covered with illusion, and also by awakening our spiritual nature from within, that we can have some sense of realization, of taste of that spiritual platform. Persons who are under the impression that the absolute truth is impersonal are described as abudhaya, which means those who do not know the ultimate feature of the absolute truth. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated that supreme realization begins from the impersonal Brahman and then rises to the localized supersoul. But the ultimate word in the absolute truth is the personality of Godhead. Modern impersonalists are still less intelligent, for they do not even follow their great predecessor Shankaracharya, who has specifically stated that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. Impersonalists, therefore, not knowing the supreme truth, think Krishna to be only the son of Devaki and Vasudeva, or a prince, or a powerful living entity. This is also condemned in the Bhagavad-gita 9:11. Avajananti mang mudaha manushim tanum ashritam. Only the fools regard me as an ordinary person. The fact is that no one can understand Krishna without rendering devotional service and without developing Krishna consciousness. The Bhagavatam confirms this. 10:14-29. Atapite deva padambuja dvaya pashada leshanugrihita evahi jnanati tattvang bhagavan mahimno nachanya eko picharya chiram vichinvan. My Lord, if one is favored by even a slight trace of the mercy of your lotus feet, he can understand the greatness of your personality. But those who speculate to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead are unable to know you, even though they continue to study the Vedas for many years. One cannot understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, or his form, quality, or name simply by mental speculation or by discussing Vedic literature. One must understand him by devotional service. When one is fully engaged in Krishna consciousness, beginning by chanting the Mahamantra. Yeah, let's chant the Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Then only can one understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Non-devotee impersonalists think that Krishna has a body made of this material nature and that all his activities, his form and everything are Maya. These impersonalists are known as Mayavadis. They do not know the ultimate truth. Yes, so we distinguish between the impersonalists, the Brahmavadis, who have followed the Vedic path and have reached a certain level of realization or are aiming for that level of realization. That is a bona fide path in the Vedas. It is not the ultimate realization, but it is one level of realization. And from that level of realization, one can actually progress. But if one takes the stand that the impersonal is the supreme and this Krishna is Maya, then Krishna will not reveal himself to such a person. He will allow them to keep that illusion. Yes, you can go on thinking like that in this material world forever. Which, it's all of we all have that free choice to hold on to some material misconception and stay in this material world forever. Of course, we will go lifetime after lifetime after lifetime, and we will get new opportunities to turn back to a spiritual path. But we don't have to. We really don't have to. It is voluntarily. And if we get stuck in this attitude, especially, it's even these points, they are like, how to say, they're cultural goods floating around in existence, and people hear it and people kind of just touch on those ideas because they're out there. But even with a little bit of Krishna consciousness, even with a little time spent hearing of Krishna, hearing his name, serving him in the temples, studying him in the Srimad Bhagavatam, and a sentence like this is highly painful. It's just like if you have a child, and then somebody comes by and says, "Oh no, that child is just part of the situation in the school. There's no need to be too concerned. All the children, they grow up, they go to school, and basically they are just imitation grown-ups, and we don't have to care about them." Of course we have to care about them. If you have a child, you love your child, and of course you're aware that they have their own life. They will grow up, they will do their own thing. It doesn't make them less important. It certainly doesn't make them an illusion. And Krishna, that love for Krishna, it's even stronger. It's even more original. It's even more a part of who we are, of our spiritual heart. And when someone comes around and says, yes, that Krishna is just an illusion, let's all merge into the impersonal. And that's just like a slap in the face, and it's just rude. So yes, we all have different levels, we all have different motivation. Everyone in this world is obviously not here in order to develop pure devotional bhakti towards Krishna. But we can all coexist nicely, but just don't make that mistake of taking to that very offensive mentality of considering Krishna an illusion. The 20th verse clearly states, Kama hrita jnana prapadyante nadeva taha. Those who are blinded by lusty desire surrender unto the different demigods. It is accepted that besides the Supreme Personality of Godhead, there are demigods who have their different planets, and the Lord also has a planet. As stated in the 23rd verse, Devan Deva Yajo Yanti Mad Bhakta Yanti Mamapi. The worshippers of the demigods go to different planets of the demigods, and those who are devoted to Lord Krishna go to the Krishna Loka planet. Although this is clearly stated, the foolish impersonalists still maintain that the Lord is formless and that these forms are impositions. From the study of the Gita, does it appear that the demigods and their abodes are impersonal? Clearly, neither the demigods nor Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, are impersonal. They are all persons. Lord Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he has his own planet, and the demigods have theirs. Yes, it's actually kind of amusing. There are so many verses where Krishna stresses the personal features. There is one verse where Krishna tells Arjuna in the beginning, where Arjuna is very upset about the whole situation on the battlefield. I think we haven't spoken about this battlefield for quite some verses now, but they are still standing there in between the armies discussing the philosophy of the universe and the meaning of life, because ultimately when we do something, it has to be meaningful, and to fully understand it, Krishna gives us the full scope. But there's one verse where Krishna says, "Never was there a time where I did not exist, nor you, nor all these kings, nor in the future shall any of us cease to be." And then somebody will say, yes, this all regards that impersonal spiritual spark that will all merge. And then why does Krishna take the trouble to say, never was there a time where you did not exist, where I did not exist, where they did not exist, and in the future we will all continue to exist as persons, as individuals. This is actually quite an important concept, and it's important to catch it, because there is this tendency to say personality is material, because we see these bodies and we see them die, and then we think the soul goes on to just merge. But it's the other way around. We are right now covered by a material body that makes our personality diminished. It's just like when you're sick and you can't get out of bed and you can just barely drink something. Then when you get healthy again, you don't cease your activities altogether. No, then you gain your original, real strength to be a person, to interact, to pursue your goals in life. And that's just on the material level. So when we are free of this material illusion, or how to say, the bondage to this material body, then our personality will not be less, it will be more. It will not be limited by this material. We will of course be, Krishna is unlimited. We are not unlimited, but we are not kept under the constraints of this material body and this material world. Therefore, the monistic contention that the ultimate truth is formless and that form is imposed does not hold truth. It is clearly stated here that it is not imposed. From the Bhagavad-gita, we can clearly understand that the forms of the demigods and the forms of the Supreme Lord are simultaneously existing, and that Lord Krishna is Satchitananda, eternal blissful knowledge. The Vedas also confirm that the Supreme Absolute Truth is Anandamayo Vyasat, or by nature full of blissful pleasure, and that he is the reservoir of unlimited auspicious qualities. And in the Gita, the Lord says that although he is Ajya, unborn, he still appears. These are the facts that we should understand from the Bhagavad-gita. We cannot understand how the Supreme Personality of Godhead can be impersonal. The imposition theory of the impersonalist monist is false as far as the statements of the Gita are concerned. It is clear herein that the Supreme Absolute Truth, Lord Krishna, has both form and personality. So, yes, if somebody wants to be a monist, in this world there is certainly room for all these attitudes. But please don't drag Bhagavad-gita into it, because Bhagavad-gita has nothing to do with impersonalism. It will show us and describe how we can realize that impersonal aspect. It's one level of realization. That's really all. how to say, leeway impersonalism is given in Bhagavad-gita. And since this is what we are studying now, Bhagavad-gita, we will stick to Krishna's understanding and explanation of it. Thank you so much. Below I have a little box with links. I have a playlist for each chapter, links for finding the Hare Krishna temple and the Bhagavad-gita, and also please bring out your questions and comments in the field below. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you for watching. We aim for updates every Tuesday and Friday. Please come back. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down there. We also have some links and information for you. And there is, of course, the subscribe button. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
I'm a Hare Krishna, and I approve this message. Subscribe.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,